So welcome everybody to this latest GCSE revision video 162 Maths. In this video we'll be going over a topic test on the higher syllabus focusing on basic percentages. Now there will be a copy of the question sheet in the description below for you to download and have a go at before going through the answers by watching this video. So let's get started on this AQA GCSE Maths topic test on the higher syllabus on basic percentages. So looking at the first question, let's just zoom in a little bit so you can see it clearly. It says circle the fraction that is equivalent to 44%. Now there is no indication about whether these questions are calculated or non-calculated. They could easily appear on both. So where possible we'll try and not use the calculator. However, we will show you if it becomes a bit, just to speed the process up. So for this particular question, we need to convert 44% as into a fraction simply because our four options are fractions. So 44% is 44 over 100, which then simplifies to be 22 over 50, which isn't present, which is 11 over 25, which is present, so it's our second option. For question 2, it says arrange the following values in order starting at the smallest. So here what we want to try and do is convert them so that they're all the same. So here 0.7, 5 over 8, and again all I need to do is just do 8 over 5. 0.000 and then just simply work it out using the bus stop. So here I'm going to end up with 6 and then 2 and then 5, so it's 6.025, 0.625, 0.66 and 0.75. So in terms of putting this from smallest to biggest, our smallest is 5/8, our next smallest is 66%, then it's 0.7 and then it's 3/4. Moving on to question 3, it says which is the greater percentage, 18 over 40 or 41 over 90. So again, simply for this, all you need to do is convert them both as a decimal, either by doing some long division or any of that sort. It's entirely up to you, but let's just speed up the process by working this out. So I've got 18 over 40, which is 0.45. Now you could also try and get a common denominator and then see which numerator is bigger, which is absolutely fine. And for the next one, 41 over 90 equals 0.45 recurring. So which is a greater percentage? Well, it's 41 over 90. So then looking at the next questions, question 4, it says a quantity is doubled in size. By what percentage has it increased by? Well, if it's doubled, we're getting 100% more. Now when it comes to question 5, it says a doorway is closed by 2 sliding doors. Each sliding door is 60% of the width of the doorway. When the doors are closed, they overlap. What percentage of the width of the door is overlapped? Well, if this is 60% and this is 60%, then in total we're going to have 60% plus 60, which is 120%. So how much is overlapped? Well, it's going to be 20%. For question 6, it says which of the following statements is definitely false? So I blew up the balloon up to 120% of its original size. Well, yeah, that's definitely believable. I ate a cake. I ate 120% of the cake. Well, that's the one that's definitely wrong without me even reading the other two. That this one is definitely going to be wrong because obviously you can only eat 100% of the cake because there's only 100% of the cake. Also it says tick. I don't think they would actually ever mark you wrong if you crossed it. I think it's just a case of identifying it. Let's just play it safe. So moving on to question 7, it says 40% of trees in the wood are diseased. 75% of the trees in the wood are elms. Work out the least possible percentage of trees in the wood that are diseased elms. Now again with this question, what we need to do is combine the two percentages, so 40% plus 70%, or 75% rather. Get that back up. 75% equals 115%. And so from this, how much is left over? Well, it's going to be 15%. It's going to be the least amount possible. In terms of, let's just add a bit of work in that. Oh yeah, that should be enough. And then obviously 115 minus 100 gives us 15. Then with question 8, it says sofas are us increased its price by 10% and then reduced it by 5%. Sofas So Good reduced its price by 5% and then increased by 10%. Which shop increased its prices by the greater percentage? Circle your answer, and then let me just, thing that cannot tell should be there. And the question there, B then says explain your choice. Now I'll probably do B first before we look at A of identifying. So in terms of sofas are us, that's going to be, now an increase of 10% is 1.1, multiplied by a decrease of 5% is 0.95. And if we get the calculator and actually work that out, so 1.1 times 0.95, it equals 1.045, so 1.045, which is a 4.5 increase overall. Now if I then look at sofas, or sofas so good, I then do 0.95 times 1.1, which is also going to give me 0.45. So as you can see here, they are the same increase. So I need to go for the option that says both the same. Moving on to question 9, it says that a square has a side of 8 centimeters. The area of the square increases by 50%. Work out the percentage increase in the length of sides. So here we've got original is 8 centimeters. So let's just quickly draw a square. Now the area of the side, so this is 64. So that's what the area is going to be. Now if the area is increasing by 50%, so I've got to do 64 times 1.5. And that should give me 6, yep. So the new area, so this is the new area. So then to find out the new length, what I need to then do is square root 96, and that will give me my answer. Now in terms of the percentage increase, so in terms of percentage change, now percentage change, the formula is the difference divided by the original times by 100. So here the difference, so if I just write the percentage change, it's going to be the difference between the two, so it's going to be root 96 minus 60, or actually in terms of 8, you're looking at the lengths, divided by the original length, which was 8, and we're going to multiply that by 100. So if I then get the calculator, set up a fraction, I've got root 96, scroll across, minus 8 over 8. Now just make sure that you do notice that the square root stops at the 96, it doesn't continue into the minus 8. Press equals, multiply that by 100, and it gives me 22.47, so 22.5% to 1 decimal. And then finally with question 10, it says A is 30% of B and B is 90% of C. What percentage of C is A? Now for this, let's write down the facts that we know. So we know that A equals 30% of B, which is 0.3. And we also know that B is 90% of C. Now, in terms of this, what we want to try and do is make B the subject in both cases. So for this one, if I take the 0.3 over to the side, what I end up is A over 0.3 equals B. Now from this, as we've now got both equations equal to B, that these two things here must be equal to each other. So here I've got A over 0.3 equals 0.9 C. Now here, all I then need to do is take the 0.3 over to that side, in which I'll end up with A equals 0.27 C. And what's 0.27 as a percentage? Well, it's going to be 27%. And that concludes this topic test on basic percentages.